Hello. I have been at OFF in Barcelona for the last 3 days, and I've done a fairly shocking job of vlogging. I wanted to do a vlog to share my experience. So I got lots of clips of cool things, but I didn't do many sort of bits to camera explaining what I was seeing and what was going on. So I'm going to try and do those a little bit retrospectively, and give you kind of like some thoughts on what my big takeaways were, what I noticed, how I felt about the conference. So I will show you some of the stuff that went on, and then I'll pop back on to, talk you through some of the stuff.
We're designed to live in motion. So even in the early sketches, we were already thinking how those objects, how these emojis would move and what they could actually do. Yeah, to work out the storytelling, we drew these little small sequences and also turned these rough sketches into very simple animatics. Yeah, and for us, it's always worthy to test things in a sketch than just to find out hours later that it didn't work out, because you're more efficient with those sketches than after spending hours of CGI exploration that it didn't work out in the end.
Basically, a photographer, I work with the camera. A lot of times I'm out there in the middle of nowhere by myself doing these things, and I guess my photography is kind of weird, and my methods are quite weird and unorthodox. And what's important for me is to be able to show the craft that goes behind the images, the process that happens, that takes me from arriving to being able to capture the image. And so behind the scenes stuff is really, really important for me. So I found myself having to take 3 cameras on location with me. One is the main camera, and then one over there, and one over here, and to get as many things happening, different angles and perspectives, to show people that what happens is actually real and in camera and practical.
So is that because some of the imagery that you create is sort of almost feels like it would be digitally created?
Yeah, I mean, you could just say, oh, is this AI? And people would probably assume it's just AI. Yeah. But I think behind the scenes work, the process work, that's your receipts, that's your proof of work. And that's why, especially now, it's becoming so important and crucial for me to have those and to share them, and to be able to say to people that, to make sure that they understand that this is not just a digital image that's just been spat out. This is an actual real piece of work which has gone from inspiration through concept, through process to finishing.
Yeah, and you were just saying then that, especially now, but is this something that you've always done with your work, like documenting it as you go, or is it something more recently that's...
It's more recent now,
yeah.
just because of the increasing need to prove that you've done the work.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's for me, it's the process, the craft begins very early in my process.
We get sometimes requests like that where they want us to use AI,
Yeah.
which for us is like, then all of our friends are employed instantly.
But it's always because of money.
Yeah, it's always because
It's
of
always
money.
like, oh, we don't have the budget, but you can do it in AI. You know, it's like, it's so fucking boring. I don't know, like, it's, you know, it's not from a creative point where, I mean, it's like, it's not because they want to create something interesting or whatever, it's only from a
Saving money.
budget perspective, and, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm not sorry. You talk.
No, you
say
do.
something.
You just said enough.
You should say it now.
Yeah.
Am I talking?
Yeah.
AI is boring. We don't like it. I think if someone came to us and when they say that, we say go to someone else. Like, sorry, like but sorry. I mean, it's that simple. We're not the ones. Like I'm like, if someone wants to do AI, can do that. You know, like fine, but like that's not our speciality. It's not what we're good at. Not where we excel. You know, so then we would be like, you come to us for our, you know, knowledge, whatever we're good at, or our style that you're looking for or something, but then you need to trust us, you know, how to do it, and you know.
It's like someone coming and asking us, like, can we make a project in Photoshop? For us, it's like, why are you choosing the tool already? It's a bit like backwards, kind of. So if and it happens now that they want to do AI projects, you know, but why did you choose a tool when you haven't even chosen the solution or the style, you know?
And I must say, like, I don't think it's very often that it happens. Like I said, it's more like some people that contact us and they, from more a budget perspective, come with these like ideas and it's almost like excuses immediately. You know how they. But I think like clients, they also want to. Like everyone's just human. They also want to do things. They think it's cool to be on set.
Of course.
You know, they love to see how things are crafted. They want to be there as well and touch it and, you know, see it and feel it, and, you know, many are also creatives themselves, and, you know, it can be great collaborations sometimes, you know.
So I think one of the things that really struck me was how much people shared their process this time in a way that I think I haven't seen as much before. And I do think like a big part of that is when someone has put a lot of effort into their work and, you know, like they have this really incredible process that they've refined over years and years and years. And then someone asks them, oh, did you use AI to make that? Like, that's a bit demoralizing. And so I think people really went above and beyond to talk through the process, which I really, really enjoyed. Like, I loved hearing that kind of like behind the scenes stuff, how things happened, what went wrong, you know, like what are all the kind of like iterations, the problems that they had to solve and get through before they got to the final piece. So that was that was really cool to see. And like people did it in different ways, but I really appreciated that sort of behind the scenes access instead of just seeing maybe like final case studies or final pieces of work. So that was an interesting sort of trend to notice. I obviously didn't go to all the talks. There's usually like about 4 talks running at the same time. One thing that I did notice is there was kind of a lot of, I guess, like apathy, maybe apathy is the wrong word. There was like a lot of just boredom around AI. Like people like that I saw speaking on stage, like some of them were using it, some of them weren't, some of them were like, oh, I found, you know, like a cool way to integrate it into my process. But most people were like, I'm just kind of bored of like what it produces, what it does. So that was interesting as well. Like, I'm sure that wasn't across the board. Like, I'm sure there was some people where it was like integral to their process. But that was quite interesting to see. I think like the atmosphere off is really special. You know, like the sun is shining, people sit outside, and you can watch a couple of the talks on like big screens and have a drink, and you can wander around like there's like a creative market where there's people selling things. There's like like the coffee shop. Where you can get cakes and coffee, and you know, like and there's food trucks as well. The food trucks are lovely. And one of the evenings we like went and got pizzas, got a drink, and we just sat on the roof of the building, and they did a projection mapping. So lots of people had submitted artwork to basically be projected onto the side of the building. So we went and sat for an hour or longer than an hour and just watched that. And honestly, I think one of the things that I really took away was I just would love to learn animation. Like, I was just so in awe of some of the incredible things that people did. So I need to work out how I can invest the time and sort of learn animation, because it was really inspiring to see. Like, it was just such impressive work that was shown. So one of the things that I loved was the sort of opening sequence that was created for OFF, and basically it was done by a studio called Uncommon, and they are a design agency, and they worked with a mold artist. Now I can't remember her name, but I'll make sure I put it on the screen. But basically they had all these different mixes in the lead up to OFF, and they would like invite creators to them, and they would like swab them and get their DNA, and then they used that to grow mold. And then the mold artist made all this amazing mold, and they filmed it and animated it and just made just absolutely stunning visuals. I love the music that they chose. Like, I was so inspired by it, and I just think the idea of being a mold artist just really, I just loved it. I'm gonna share her Instagram account as well so that you can go and follow and see. The sort of theme of the conference was get cultured. So like the culture aspect obviously is where like the mold came in, and I just thought it was so clever. I really, really enjoyed that. They made ceramic Petri dishes for all of the speakers, and at the bottom each one had a different glaze that looked like mold. I mean, what a brilliant speaker gift. Like all those little attention to detail. I mean, obviously I wasn't a speaker, so I didn't get a Petri dish, but I saw them online, and my friend Lucy, who was speaking, was telling me about hers that she got in her sort of like speaker gift bag. And I just think like those little details are just really, really special. I think that's when, you know, like events can really sort of, you know, stand out, be memorable. Those little details are amazing. while I was here, I had to do quite a bit of content. So I just came off my own back, but I did get paid by Adobe to do some content for them. So they wanted some behind the scene stories. They wanted me to interview some people. And I, with the podcast and everything, like I really enjoy that. I love interviewing people. I also did like a roundup reel and a little post about going to the sort of like kiosk area. So that was fun. And I just had to keep reminding myself that I needed to do it. I think that's part of the reason why I failed a bit with recording the vlog, because I was like busy making content for other people. The other absolute highlights for me were the people. So like Matt Joyce was here and his wife, and I met Katie Cowan, who I have been like just such a fan of, and I love what she's doing, and I've interviewed her on the podcast and been on her podcast, and we just had like great chats, and she was so kind and generous, and she gave me some really, really brilliant advice, which I was so grateful for. And we interviewed each other. Like I was on her blog, I did a post for my Instagram, so that was fun. I also got to hang out with my friends Karina Lindmeyer and Izzy Poirier. Both of them have been on the podcast, and they're just amazing. You know, when you just meet people that you click with and you can just chat about all sorts of creative things, like it's just so nice to have those people where you can explain a struggle or just talk about things that you're thinking about when it comes to creativity and your work, and they totally get it. So I was very glad that I got to see them. I got to hang out with my friend Phil Palin, which is always a treat. So we had a fun time together. I also interviewed him for the Adobe Live TikTok, so that was fun. So yeah, all in all, it's been a really incredible few days. I've appreciated the sunshine, my pale shoulders. I mean, they're still pasty white, but I've appreciated the sunshine. I've appreciated a few days of seeing people's work and getting inspired. I have to say, I do find events and time away from my family harder and harder. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to them tomorrow. But on the whole, this has been a really incredible few days. Just so lovely to meet people, to chat. I keep thinking of people that I've hung out with and met that I forgot to mention. So if I didn't mention you, I'm so sorry. But yeah, it was a really beautiful time, and I am so grateful for having been able to, have a business where I can pay to go to these amazing conferences and take time out of my working week to go and spend time getting my creative cup filled by being around other creative people. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of slightly haphazard and not that well planned vlog.